PFAS chemicals are pervasive in many everyday products that directly contact our skin. These chemicals make water, grease, and stain repellent coatings for various consumer goods and industrial applications. Typical items include cosmetics and personal care products, water-resistant clothing and fabrics, non-stick cookware, and stain-resistant carpets and furniture. Recent studies have shown that PFAS can be absorbed through human skin, contrary to previous beliefs that the skin acts as an effective barrier. Using three-dimensional models of lab-grown human skin tissue, researchers found that many PFAS compounds can indeed penetrate the skin and enter the body. Shorter-chain PFAS molecules are more readily absorbed through the skin than longer-chain ones. Animal studies have shown that PFAS absorption through the skin can cause immunosuppressive effects, including reduced antibody levels and decreased spleen and thymus weights. In humans, low-level PFAS exposure has been linked to harm to the immune system in both children and adults. When we wash these PFAS-containing products or ourselves after using them, the chemicals end up in our wastewater. Traditional wastewater treatment plants are not designed to remove PFAS compounds. Due to their water solubility, PFAS bypass most physical barriers in treatment facilities. While some PFAS can be removed via biosolids or filtered out by activated carbon and certain membrane filters, these processes do not destroy the chemicals, allowing them to contaminate other parts of the environment. Conventional wastewater treatment processes, such as activated sludge and sedimentation, are ineffective at removing PFAS. This inadequate treatment releases PFAS into receiving waters, harming aquatic ecosystems and wildlife. The persistence of PFAS in our environment and their ability to accumulate in our bodies over time show the importance of finding more effective ways to remove these forever chemicals from our water systems and reduce their use in consumer products. Food packaging incorporates PFAS to create a barrier against grease and moisture. These chemicals form a protective coating on paper and paperboard, preventing oil and water from seeping. Fast food wrappers, microwave popcorn bags, and pizza boxes utilize PFAS for their repellent properties. When a microwave popcorn bag heats, PFAS migrates into the oil and kernels. The high temperature causes these chemicals to vaporize and coat the popcorn. Pizza boxes transfer PFAS to the pizza through direct contact with the greasy surface. Wrappers release PFAS into food through friction and heat exposure. Candy bars and gum packaging also contain PFAS. These chemicals leach into the products during storage and transportation. A 2017 study detects PFAS in 1/3 of food packaging samples tested. The research examines restaurants' fast food containers, bakery bags, and beverage cups. Consumers ingest PFAS through contaminated food and beverages. These chemicals enter the bloodstream and accumulate in organs like the liver and kidneys. They persist in the body for years, causing long-term health effects. The FDA approves certain PFAS for food contact applications. However, growing evidence links PFAS exposure to health issues such as cancer, thyroid problems, and immune system dysfunction. Regulatory agencies face pressure to reevaluate the safety of these chemicals in food packaging. Textiles treated with PFAS repel water, oil, and stains, making them useful in outdoor gear. Brands like Patagonia, the North Face, and Columbia incorporate PFAS into jackets, pants, and boots. Gore-Tex, a popular waterproof membrane, uses PFAS to achieve its water-resistant properties. Camping gear, such as tents and sleeping bags, also contain PFAS, which can directly contact the skin during use. This prolonged exposure raises concerns, as PFAS are mobile and can be absorbed through the skin, accumulating in the body over time. PFAS-treated fabrics are also found in furniture, carpets, and automotive upholstery. Companies like Scotchgard, Stainmaster, and Sunbrella use these chemicals in products such as Lazy Boy recliners, Mohawk carpets, and Ford vehicle seats. Babies and pets on treated carpets face increased exposure to PFAS chemicals, which can transfer through direct contact or inhalation of particles. In vehicles, seat covers, floor mats, and steering wheel covers often contain PFAS treatments. The new car smell results from chemicals like PFAS off-gassing from interior surfaces. The global market for waterproof textiles is projected to reach $23.9 billion by 2025. However, PFAS treatments release volatile organic compounds, VOCs, which are gases emitted from treated materials. These VOCs contribute to indoor air pollution and may pose health risks over time. Prolonged exposure to PFAS-treated car interiors or home furnishings increases the likelihood of chemical accumulation in the body. PFAS persists in the environment and bioaccumulates in human organs such as the liver and kidneys. Studies have detected these chemicals in blood samples worldwide. Some companies now offer alternatives to PFAS-treated outdoor gear. For example, Lucky Sheep produces wool and cotton sleeping bags treated with beeswax as a natural water repellent. These options provide safer choices for consumers concerned about PFAS exposure. Firefighting foam containing PFAS, known as aqueous film-forming foam, has been widely used since the 1960s. Aqueous film-forming foam has been effective in significant incidents, like the 1986 DuPont Plaza Hotel fire in Puerto Rico and the 2018 Camp Fire in California. The foam enters soil, water, creeks, streams, and rivers, contaminating farmlands and properties. If firefighting foam isn't cleaned up, PFAS can evaporate into the air or seep into the soil, contaminating groundwater and drinking water. In 2014, PFAS from aqueous film-forming foam contaminated farmland near Fairchild Air Force Base in Washington, forcing farmers to stop selling crops. The U.S. Navy developed aqueous film-forming foam with 3M Corporation to combat shipboard fires. Aqueous film-forming foam contained perfluorooctane sulfonic acid or perfluorooctanoic acid. Because of their persistence in the environment, they don't break down and will remain in the environment virtually permanently. The well-documented health effects of these two specific chemicals are being phased out in the U.S. Still, these chemicals remain present in the bodies of most Americans in our water, soil, and air. While effective, they are also a significant source of PFAS pollution in California and worldwide. While this problem and the development of safer alternatives have led many parts of the world to restrict or eliminate aqueous film-forming foam, the United States' outdated fire regulations for military installations and airports have contaminated the water of nearby communities. Once PFAS are released into the environment, They are challenging to clean up because they easily dissolve in water, are mobile, and can contaminate groundwater, drinking water, and other natural areas. They do not break down and build up in the environment over time, and there is no natural way to remove them, which may increase our risk of exposure to PFAS for hundreds or thousands of years. Cosmetics and personal care products often contain PFAS to enhance durability and texture. A recent study found that PFAS was present in over half of cosmetics tested, including lipstick, foundation, and mascara. Popular brands like L'Oreal, Maybelline, and CoverGirl may use PFAS in their products. Lipstick, foundation, and mascara containing PFAS can enter the body through skin absorption and ingestion. Lipstick wearers may consume several pounds of product over their lifetime. PFAS in these products can be absorbed through the lips and mouth, entering the bloodstream. Sunscreens, shampoos, and dental floss also contain PFAS. These chemicals can enter the body through skin absorption and oral exposure. Dental floss, in particular, allows PFAS to be tested. Ironically, when singing with Forever Chemicals, we worried about silver fires. Women use multiple personal care products daily, exposing themselves to various PFAS sources. Most are unaware of this exposure, as PFAS are often unlisted ingredients. Studies show women who use these products have higher PFAS levels in their bodies. Women of childbearing age using PFAS-containing products risk exposing their fetuses and breastfeeding infants to these chemicals. PFAS can cross the placental barrier and accumulate in breast milk. This early life exposure may lead to long-term health effects, which we'll explore in later chapters. Industrial applications of PFAS span numerous sectors, including aerospace, automotive, and electronics. Factory workers handling these chemicals face significant exposure risks through inhalation, skin contact, and ingestion. Studies show workers in PFAS-related industries, such as fluorochemical plants and ski wax technicians, have elevated PFAS levels in their blood decades after exposure. These workers often report health issues like liver damage, autoimmune disorders, and cancer. In aerospace, companies like Boeing and Airbus use PFAS in hydraulic fluids and wire insulation to prevent fires and corrosion. Hydraulic fluid leaks during maintenance or accidents release PFAS into the environment, contaminating soil and water sources. Workers exposed to these fluids risk absorbing PFAS through their skin or inhaling airborne particles during routine operations. Automotive manufacturers such as Ford and Toyota incorporate PFAS into fuel systems, lubricants, and seals to ensure durability under extreme conditions. When fuel systems leak or lubricants are improperly disposed of, PFAS enter waterways through runoff. These chemicals contaminate aquatic ecosystems, affecting insects, fish, and other animals that rely on these habitats. Over time, this contamination spreads to drinking water supplies. Electronics giants like Apple and Samsung use PFAS in semiconductor production and circuit board coatings to enhance performance and reliability. However, the manufacturing process releases PFAS into wastewater systems, which cannot often filter out these persistent chemicals. This pollution affects surrounding communities by contaminating local water sources and agricultural land. Despite growing environmental concerns, PFAS remain used due to their unique properties and lack of viable alternatives. However, Their persistence in the environment and harmful effects on workers, wildlife, and ecosystems highlight the urgent need for stricter regulations and safer substitutes. PFAS are processing aids in plastics and rubber manufacturing, improving product quality and production efficiency. These chemicals are used in products like automotive fuel hoses, gaskets, seals, medical devices such as catheters and surgical tubing. Companies like DuPont and 3M manufacture PFAS-based additives to enhance these applications. PFAS improves flow and reduces defects in polymer production by minimizing friction and preventing melt fracture, which occurs when polymers break or crack during extrusion. This allows manufacturers to produce smoother, more uniform items like films for food packaging, pipes, and wires. These additives also enable faster production speeds and reduced waste, making them essential in industrial processes. Due to regulatory pressure, plastic additive makers are developing PFAS-free alternatives. Companies like Tosaf and Clariant have introduced PFAS-free processing aids for food contact applications, including cast and blown films. However, these alternatives carry environmental risks. Some that rely on biopolymers or other synthetic materials may still harm ecosystems or require significant energy to produce. PFAS also finds applications in paints, adhesives, and sealants in the construction and manufacturing industries. These chemicals are incorporated into building materials like roofing membranes, paints, sealants, and solar panel glass. When it rains, PFAS from these materials wash into the soil below, contaminating groundwater. Despite their environmental impact, companies like Sherwin-Williams and 3M continue to produce PFAS-containing products. Sherwin-Williams previously faced criticism for lead-based paint affecting children's IQs. PFAS represents yet another harmful legacy. PFAS enter drinking water through various industrial releases. Factories discharge PFAS into nearby water sources during production processes or through air emissions that settle into soil and waterways. Sewage treatment plants also release PFAS-laden effluent because they cannot filter these chemicals. Farmers across the globe have applied contaminated sludge as fertilizer on their fields, spreading PFAS into crops and livestock, a topic explored further in later chapters. Leaching from landfills has created cancer cluster zones near waste sites where communities face elevated health risks. People living near manufacturing facilities or construction sites face heightened exposure to PFAS through contaminated water, air, and soil. These areas often experience cancer clusters due to prolonged contact with these persistent chemicals. The widespread use of PFAS in various industries has led to significant environmental contamination and health risks. Oil and gas industries use PFAS to enhance performance in drilling fluids and foam stimulation. These chemicals are injected into natural gas and oil wells as part of fracking operations. PFAS improves the stability and effectiveness of fracking fluids, helping to fracture underground formations and extract trapped oil or gas. However, this practice raises significant environmental concerns. When PFAS-containing fracking fluids are injected into wells, they can contaminate groundwater and surface water. These chemicals may also become airborne when wells are flared or vented, exposing nearby communities. In some areas, homes and businesses are located within a few hundred feet of gas wells, increasing the risk of PFAS exposure through air and water. ExxonMobil and Chevron incorporate PFAS to enhance oil recovery, using these chemicals to improve the efficiency of extracting oil from underground reservoirs. The PFAS act as surfactants, reducing surface tension and allowing oil to flow more easily through rock formations. However, this practice can lead to environmental contamination. The disposal of PFAS-contaminated wastewater from fracking operations poses additional risks. Standard disposal methods include underground injection, land application, and road spreading for dust suppression or de-icing. These practices can further spread PFAS contamination to soil and water resources. In the mining industry, PFAS-containing surfactants separate minerals from ore. Miners may be exposed to these chemicals through skin contact, inhalation, or accidental ingestion. PFAS can also contaminate runoff from mining sites, affecting nearby water sources and ecosystems. The renewable energy sector faces its own PFAS challenges. Photovoltaic panel production involves PFAS in anti-reflective coatings and encapsulants. Solar companies use these chemicals to enhance panel efficiency and durability. However, this raises concerns about the long-term environmental impacts of disposing of solar panels at the end of their life. As we've seen, PFAS contamination is widespread across various industries. The following chapters will explore how these chemicals will forever impact agriculture and illustrate the far-reaching consequences of PFAS use in industrial applications. Please subscribe, please share, and hit the bell for future videos. This is part 4 of a series. The book links are below. Thank you for watching.